Stampers, this is Trevis. Welcome to Video Tuesday. And so today I'm excited because it's November 2nd, and so that means Eden's Garden is available to you all today. And so this is an amazing suite of product, right? You can get the bundle, which includes the stamp set and the coordinating dies. You can also get the designer series paper and the cotton paper, which is so interesting and cool, and also the rhinestones. And so we are going to make a card today with Eden's Garden bundle. And I am excited to show it to you. I've already shown it to you once, but I'm going to just hold it up quickly. This is a red rubber cling set. This has 10 dies in it. This is a distinctive stamp set. It has 5 of these of the flowers, but also has 5 sayings, which we love, right? Because when it doesn't have any sayings, then we're like, oh, we have to go find some sayings that go with it. These go with it. So we also have the coordinating dies, the Eden dies. So there's 5 dies, which doesn't seem like a lot, right? Until you see them. Ooh, and so I've been playing with it. I've made some samples. We're going to make a card today, and then I'm going to show you some more samples. So let's get started. Okay, so the paper has soft succulent and evening evergreen in it, but you don't have to stick to those colors. And so the samples I'm going to show you later actually show you some different colors that I made cards with. I am going to show you this one die. I'm in love with this die. So what's cool about this is that if you cut this out, okay, in your cut and emboss, then it leaves you this piece, right? So then, why not cut out this? And then you have this little piece. Why not cut out these? So you can cut out a couple of these. So there's no waste. There's no waste with this, with these dies. And I'm going to show you what I did with this cool die, okay? And I did use this several times also. So today we're really going to focus, our card today is going to focus on this die. The samples will show you all the other dies also. Okay, so let's get started today. I'm going to use a piece of Old Olive. Yes, this is a different color, right? This isn't soft succulent. It's not evening evergreen, but Old Olive is the perfect color because it coordinates well with evening evergreen. And then I'm going to use some cherry cobbler. So where did cherry cobbler come from? It came from Sweet Stockings. So from the mini catalog, we have Sweet Stockings. And so I'm going to make a very cute little card with this today. But I'm going to use this side. Okay. I'm not going to assemble the whole thing yet. I am going to go ahead and assemble the part of the card base. So this is 5 1/4 by 4. I'm just going to go ahead and adhere this so I have a nice border of Old Olive. And then I'm going to wait to adhere this. So this is 5 by 3 3/4. So it's going to layer nicely also, but I'm going to put some ribbon on there later. So I'm going to wait on that. What I want to show you is that I did cut out several of these. So I cut one out of Old Olive. I cut one out of Evening Evergreen. I did cut one out of some designer series paper. And this is actually from the Sweet Stockings designer series paper also. All right, so this side was like a stripe, and it really coordinates well with these. And then I also cut out a craft. Did you know we have craft paper? So if you look in the catalog, there's 6 by 6 craft paper. And oh my goodness, I am in love with it. So it comes in a pack. You actually get 20 sheets, 6 by 6, and it has a whole different feeling than crumb cake. So you're like, wow, it looks like some crumb cake to us, Travis, but no, it's thick. It's kind of like a paper bag. It's so cool. So I have a little piece of that left over, so I'm going to stamp on that. So first I'm going to try something. I'm going to bring in my silicone craft sheet and some scissors, and I'm going to start cutting some of these apart. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just cut some of these apart. And let's see how this goes. I have never done this before, so hang with me. I think it's going to be cool. So I'm going to cut all these apart. And you can see I'm not being very careful where I'm cutting. I'm just, because this is such a forgiving die, you really can play with it. Okay, so I have 4 of them, so I'm going to cut them all apart. And I'm going to kind of keep them separated by color. Somewhat organized, right? And the last one is Evening Evergreen. And I should have put adhesive sheets on the back, right? Because adhesive sheets would have made this super easy. But I didn't, so I'll be using our white glue. Okay, so I'm going to bring this back in now. And I'm going to start assembling a wreath. So I'm going to bring in some white glue. I'm going to start with Evening Evergreen and get the back side. Put a little of this on here. And start making a wreath. I could actually put glue on a whole bunch of these at once because this glue takes a little bit to dry. I think I'm going to cut these apart. Make these a little shorter instead of these long pieces. I think it'll work better for a wreath, right? So I hope you guys had a good weekend, a good Halloween. Always fun, right, to do whatever you do on Halloween. We actually went to our daughter's house, daughter and son-in-law's house, and of course the 3 kids wanted to trick or treat. So we did that. Put this one down here. I'm not going to make the wreath huge. And so that was really fun. Oops. I'm not very good with glue, guys. That's why I said I should have used adhesive sheets. But guess what? It's going to all come together and look great. We hope. You're going, whoa, lopsided. It is a little lopsided, but that's okay. We're going to make it work in the end. So anyway, yeah. So we had a good time with the grandkids and enjoyed Halloween. You know, after you get our age, you're sort of like, oh, I don't know. Halloween is for kids. No, it's not. It's for everybody. And I don't like scary stuff. Okay, I've never been a scary movie person or I don't know, anything like that, like haunted houses. Ugh, no thank you. But seeing kids have fun on Halloween, that makes me happy. And we had, let's see, one grandson dressed up like Harry Potter because he's 9 and he's all into Harry Potter, right? And then we had the middle one was Mario. And that costume was adorable. And then we had the youngest one was a skeleton. And so he was determined this year that he wanted to be, he's only 3, but he was determined that he wanted to be a skeleton. And I don't know where my daughter found this costume, but it was so cute. So they were darling. All their costumes were darling. It's all about the candy too, right? So can't go wrong when you're collecting candy. And so what's your favorite Halloween candy? Mine is I think it's Snickers. I like Baby Ruth too. Gosh, is that dating me? Because my dad always liked Baby Ruths, and I think I inherited that from him. I don't know if these are gonna, I think my fingers are stickier than the glue I'm putting on here. Okay, now you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take this and I'm going to hold this down for a second. Yeah, so baby Ruths are awesome, but you don't see baby Ruths as often as you used to, right? Doesn't seem like people hand out baby Ruths. Mostly it's like Hershey's, and I guess there's some Snickers in there, but a lot of candy I'm not really crazy about. Like, I don't know, anything that's like tart candy or chewy. I don't know. This is funny. I hope this is going to look okay. I think it will, but I'm sort of winging it. I'm just hoping that this glue holds, because I'm not putting that much glue on here. So I'm hoping I'm putting enough. So the, I mean, I could have used adhesive, but didn't really want to use adhesive because I thought that might be even messier. And that's gonna straight, but we'll just make it work. Okay, we're gonna do this again. Stick, stick, stick. Please stick, because this is gonna be a cute card when I'm done. I think. Maybe. Put a little glue there. Okay. Okay, now this one is the designer series paper. Right now my fingers are so sticky, I don't know if I can. We'll see how this is gonna work. Seems like I got more glue on my fingers than anywhere. I almost need to use some kind of tweezers or something. Every time I try to get my fingers loose, it sticks to my fingers. There. I'm going to say, how much more do I need? I'm almost done. See, that makes it a little rounder. But you know what? Sometimes like wreaths aren't perfectly round, are they? I mean, I used to have grapevine wreaths all the time, and they were kind of wonky. Wonky on my door. Okay. Still here. Ooh, that one's kind of going crazy. Goodness sakes. My. I thought this would be easier. And I think one last one. I'll just use this because I want to fill in that little gap. Right there. I think that's good. Okay, the wreath is finished. Woohoo! I'm going to hold this down till hopefully it sticks. Yes. Okay, I kind of like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, it's very full. That's cool. Okay, now the next thing is, you're going to think this is funny. I cut out this cute little dog from Sweet Stockings. And what I did was I mounted it on a piece of white cardstock first, and then I glued that together, and then I cut it out. So it has a little substance. Okay, so it's a little thicker. And I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back. And I wish I could get up and wash my hands because I feel like I just have glue everywhere. Okay, so before I mount this, I'm going to add my ribbon. And so the ribbon I chose is this Evening Evergreen, and I can't think of what it's called right now. I had it in my head, but now I can't think of what it's called. But it's a weave ribbon. It's so cool. And it's Evening Evergreen, so it's perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on the back. Just like that. So what I need is a little more sticky on my fingers. I'm a crafter. I'm happy to be a crafter, so I'm not too worried about sticky. I'm going to go ahead and put my adhesive on here. And I'm putting it down the sides because I want that to catch my ribbon. Okay. Now I have another little piece here, and I'm going to do a little faker bow. Just going to wrap this around like this and make a little faker bow. Trim this off a little bit. Hello. I'm like an accident waiting to happen. I think I like it like that. I think I'm going to leave it a little frayed. And then I'm going to put cutie, little cutie. I think I'm going to put him up here on the wreath. And then I'm going to bring in a few of these because I think it needs a little lightness. So I'm going to bring in a little bit of bling. So I'm going to bring in some gold. Oops, that one's not gold. Gold. Okay, so I have a few of those little gold balls on the wreath. Then it needs a saying, right? And so I am going to use from Sweet Little Stockings stamp set. I'm going to use this Santa Paws is Coming to Town. Because look how cute that is. So let's stamp this on. If you guys could just see how sticky my fingers are, you'd laugh. Santa Paws is Coming to Town in Evening Evergreen on craft paper. So I have this craft paper right here. Okay. Thought that was cute. And then I have this punch. I have the double oval punch, which barely fits, but it fits. Yoo-hoo! Santa Paws is Coming to Town. Oh, so cute. I have to decide where to put it. I think I'm just going to put it down here at the bottom. Okay, there's our card today. So you can make a wreath. It's a little bit of work, but you can make a wreath out of those Eden dies. Okay, so let me show you the other cards. This card is made with the bigger wreath, right? The bigger circle, okay? And then these are from the poinsettia dies. So those are still current. They're in the catalog. The small poinsettia dies, I just cut them out of real red cardstock, and then I put some of the bigger pearls in the center. And then this is in the mini catalog. This is our organdy, white organdy ribbon with the glitter in it. Okay, so there's that one. Then this one is kind of collage stamping. And so I used all the stamps, all the flower stamps, and I stamped them all in different colors. And the 5 colors that I used these 5 colors. And I kept them out just so you guys could see. I used polished pink, okay, for the big flower. And then I used Misty Moonlight and Mint Macaron, Mossy Meadow, and then I came in with Crumb Cake and did quite a bit of Crumb Cake fill in. Then I also cut out of the dies Crumb Cake. I cut this long die. This is from the stamp set, Dear Friend, How Are You? And this is a piece of trash that I had, a little square. So I just cut that and put it underneath. And then I cut out this die and put on some rhinestones, some of the, what are they called? They are called the copper brush metallic adhesive back dots. Don't expect me to remember that, right? And then this might be my favorite card and the most simple card. Okay, so how did I do this? This is Blushing Bride cardstock. Okay, and all I did was I took my blending brush, okay, and I took Calypso Coral and I sponged all around the front to make kind of a circle. And then I stamped Sending Hugs from the stamp set, from the Eden's Guys stamp set in black. Cut these out of Blushing Bride and cut this out. These are the borders, and I cut those out of just white cardstock. So just so you could see some samples today, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on Friday. Bye.